Game week 14 has just finished, yet the game week 15 deadline is tomorrow. It's a very busy period in FPL. So in this video, I've got you covered with upcoming fixtures, injuries, yellow cards, suspension, captaincy. So with this one video, you should be fully prepared and ready for game week 15. Now, if you like that, drop a like, subscribe, share the video with anyone else you think is going to enjoy the video. Now, on that note, let's get stuck into the video. Right, let's have a look at who's hot and who's not. So these are the players who played in game week 14. This might help us make a couple of decisions in for game week 15. Let's look through the list. So hot, starting off with Gordon. Destroyed Manchester United, got the winning goal, 10-pointer, 90 minutes and only 6 million. What more do we need? He's a perfect enabler. I'm really considering him. If you don't own him, I think he should be on your watch list. Top player. He's having a great season. Next up is Saka. Super consistent. He is, honestly, every week he returns. Look, this week, 8 points, played 90 minutes. And if you include him, the last 2 game weeks, he's outscored Haaland and Salah. So I spoke about him being maybe not a hauling machine, but he just keeps on returning and getting them bonus points. Third up is Taylor. You jammy managers who played him. Yes, I'm jealous. He's a bench fodder, but he returned this week. And for those of you who played him against Sheffield United, 2 for Sheffield United, well done to you. Deserve them points. 10 points. And in reality, he can stay there for this season. And whenever there's fixtures that look like they could keep it clean, you play him. Fourth up, we've got Trippier. Super solid. He's an elite FPL asset this season. 12-pointer, played 90 minutes. What more do you want from your defender? He's got attacking potential with set pieces and in open play. And Newcastle looks so solid. Last 2 games beating Chelsea and then Manchester United. And against PSG, I know they drew, but still, that's a solid performance. So, yeah, Newcastle are still there. Then we got Watkins, 11-pointer, 90 minutes. He's got 8 goals and 9 assists. I mean, if you're like me and you sold him for either Isaac or Darwin, it serves us right, doesn't it? He's been so good this season, super consistent. And you could argue, even with the 2 next fixtures being difficult, he's a season keeper. Last but not least on the hot list is Son. 10-pointer, played 90 minutes. He had a very, impactful game. He scored the goal, scored an own goal, then got the assist. I mean, you know, captain's performance. Super player. He's another player that's looking like a season keeper, and in certain fixtures, you could captain him. A lot of people got rid of him. I think a lot of people will be doing the maths now, seeing how they can bring him back in because he looked really good, looked sharp. Now the not pile. Who am I going to start with? Yes, it's Darwin Núñez. Super frustrating. A 2-pointer. He missed another sitter. I mean, Salah put him through. He done all the hard work. He's clearly trying too hard. What he actually needs is one of them jammy, cheap goals that just bounces off him and goes in to take the pressure off, because you could tell he's trying too hard. And I mean, that one day he didn't have to hit it 100 miles per hour. He just needs to finesse it into the top corner. Anyway, super frustrating player. 2-1-5-2 is his last 4 games. For me, he's got the next 2 fixtures to show something. Otherwise, he needs to be binned. I can't justify. I mean, a big fan of him, but I can't justify it. Hence why he's in the not pile. After that, we've got Cash, 1-pointer. It's a sub-appearance. Question mark there, whether it was just tactical. But he got the last 16 minutes. And, I mean, Aston Villa are conceding anyway, so I'm not sure if you're going to want to keep him, to be honest. So, yeah. That's my take. That's why he's in a not pile. Third, you've got Matoma, 1-pointer. He's had a 1-0-1 in the last 3 games. Yes, I know he's been injured, so I'm being a bit harsh. But Brighton recently, they're very tricky to dictate, to predict, I should say, whether it with starts and results. They're scoring goals, they're conceding goals. But yeah, for me, he deserves to be in that pile there. After that, we've got Palmer, just not long ago, he was in the hot. Maybe I'm being harsh. He picked up an injury in training. It's a slight one. It can't have been bad for him to be able to be on the bench and come on for how much? I'm not sure how many minutes he came on. Just after Chelsea had their second penalty, actually. The irony. But 1-pointer. He's had a 1, 2, and a 6 in the last games. But at that price, maybe I am being a bit harsh. Definitely worth keeping an eye on him because he's a player I was looking to bring in as Chelsea's fixtures change. But within Cuckoo and this little slight injury, let's see what comes up. And the games are really congested in this period. So does he start the next game, for example? That's an interesting one. Right, let's have a look. So these are players who are suspended for game week 15. That's this game week coming up. I'm going to try to put only the players who I think are useful. There's a couple more, but I doubt anyone owns them. You shouldn't really own some of these players that are suspended. So let's start with Rodri. Not a lot of us own him, but he's so important to Man City, so it could impact your decisions. What I mean by that, for example, if you've got Watkins and considering selling him, you might want to play him. Man City without Rodri are not as powerful. So that's what I mean. That's why I'll put him on the list. He's not playing, so that weakens City, strengthens definitely Villa's potential in this fixture. After that, we got Dunk, Brighton versus Brentford. I mean, Brighton already conceding goals left, right, and centre. Without him, they're going to be even more more susceptible. So yeah, it's worth noting that. Grealish, another Manchester City player, not playing against his former team. I mean, you could argue they've got Doku. It's not that bad, but still, it still impacts their squad. I mean, Pep has been changing them. So yeah, that's not ideal at all. And then on the 4 yellow cards, we've got Trippier, Cash, Decore, Dini, Sterling, Kabore, Luiz, that's Douglas Luiz, Aitnori, Bruno Fernandes, Udegi, Braithwaite, Hwang. Now, some of these are important. You need to keep an eye on them. If they pick up, they'll play this game week. That's not a problem unless they're rotated, of course. But if they do pick up another one, they miss that game, which could hurt us. If your squad, like mine, your bench is looking bare of players who don't play, you need to keep an eye on this, okay? Something definitely to keep an eye on in upcoming game weeks. Fixtures, we're going to quickly flick through them and tell you what I sort of predicted results with. If I think it's a goal scoring game or more of a defensive game. So Wolves versus Burnley. Burnley, of course, flying after that victory. Wolves, not bad this season. Surprised me. I looked at them as a defensive unit. Very boring team before. Now, not so much. So this one here, I could see a score draw. Hwang owners should be happy. Taylor, I'm not sure you've just jammed your way to them lovely points. I'm not sure you're going to play him again this game week, are you? Luton and Arsenal. This fixture is not looking good for Luton, who've been better than I expected. I thought Luton coming into the Premier League might challenge the worst, was it Derby? The worst points total, but they're doing not too bad. Arsenal, on the other hand, super strong. Premier League title contenders. Odegaard back. Attack looked a little bit more better. Saka, with him, they just returns every week. He always impacts the game. And you can't ask more than that for a player. I think he's potentially a captain material this game week. We'll talk about that later on. Arsenal win this game without a doubt. Just the score, maybe 2-3-0. Brighton versus Brentford. Brighton are going to score at home. That's a certainty. Brentford, though, will more than likely score with Brighton's defence and the issues they've been having. This is a good game for the attackers, not for the defensive units. And Wemore owners should be licking their lips. It's a lovely fixture for them. Crystal Palace versus Bournemouth. Again, seen a score draw here. Bournemouth with Solanke looks on form. They've improved. As the season is gone on, they've improved. They've got better. Palace, a bit of a random team. Not one of my favourite teams to watch, actually. But yeah, there'll be a problem for Bournemouth. I don't see that. What do they call it? It's the South Derby, even though they're quite far apart. Fulham versus Nottingham Forest. Fulham against Liverpool surprised me. First 15 minutes looked like they were going to get destroyed, but then they wormed their way into the game, and then from then on they were a thorn to Liverpool. Very difficult team to play against. Can be quite frustrating and annoying. If they had a top number 9, they'd actually be in a much better position than they're in. They create chances, but scoring is going to be difficult, for they're relying on their wide guys to put the ball in the net. Nottingham Forest, again, Wood up front. Some of you have already jumped in on him. I mean, you see, if you've got him, you're going to have to play him in this fixture. Of course you are, but doesn't look great. I could easily see Fulham, after watching him against Liverpool, I could see Fulham winning this 1-0 or 2-1. Sheffield United versus Liverpool. This is the money fixture for us, Liverpool. For managers who say, tripled or doubled up on Liverpool, I'm tripled up on there. The irony is, unfortunate for the Liverpool assets, is that they've sacking the manager, Sheffield United, and they're going to have a stand-in, a new manager. So, they say the new manager bounce. It'll be interesting to see how that materializes, but we'll fully expect Liverpool to win this game. I was going to say comfortably, but I thought that against the Fulham and it wasn't comfortable in the end. But I do expect Liverpool have enough firepower to win this game. Sheffield United look terrible this season. Nunes, Salah, and any other Diaz, you should be in the, hopefully, returns. Aston Villa versus Manchester City. This is a good game. This is one of the games of the midweek fixtures to look forward to. Villa are not mugs, very strong. We just spoke about a minute ago, Watkins, and they're just strong throughout the whole team. City have not reached their best at the moment. But they tend to do this. I remember last season at one stage, even I thought, they're not bothered. They've won too much. They're starting to slack or no. You don't know. Whenever you think that, they strike back. So this game here, I'm looking at something like 3-2 to City. I see this as a high-scoring game. So for anyone that owns Watkins or Diaby, if he plays, and Haaland, of course, and any other, maybe Alvarez, there's goals in this game. Manchester United versus Chelsea. Manchester United, every time they play a good team, they they're not there. They don't turn up. They're struggling. This will be a good one because Chelsea obviously won against Brighton. They're going to want to continue, but then Manchester United lost against Newcastle. They're going to want to bounce back. This would be a good game. Looking forward to this as well. It's a shame they're at the same time, but we'll have to flick through and try and keep an eye on both games. You shouldn't really have no Manchester United assets. I'll be very surprised. Some might have the defensive cheap ones, Maguire or Dalot. I mean, you could play them, but it's not great. Everton versus Newcastle. Everton, they're not bad, you know. They're not bad. Sean Dyche is starting to impact this team. Having said that, Newcastle, they're meeting a serious team here. Now, this will be a good game. I'm not even sure which way this is going to go because Everton, if they turn up, I mean, I thought that against United and United took them apart. Newcastle could easily do the same. So I'm still going to back Newcastle to win this. So I'm hoping, as an Isaac owner, he gets onto the score sheet here and he's not rotated in this game. Yeah, Newcastle win this game. Let's say 2-1. Then last but not least, Spurs versus West Ham. Difficult fixture, but as a Son owner, I'm confident. West Ham, not too bad. They struggled in the last game. I didn't think they were that great. But I think Spurs will win this game 3-1. Yeah, that's a bold prediction there. So that's the fixtures. My opinions on some where I think it's going to be high scoring, low scoring, whether it's better to back the attackers or the defensive players. Of course, that's just my opinion. You always go with your gut on this. Last but not least is captaincy. Unfortunately, I've got the same three as last week's. It's the way it is with captaincies. No one's really put up their hands and fought to get into this list. But first is going to be Mohamed Salah playing against the fixture, isn't it? Playing against Sheffield United away. Even though I've just said to you they've sacked the manager, it doesn't matter, or they're going to sack the manager. Doesn't matter. I can't see whoever comes in, no matter what with the new manager bounce, to be able to stop Liverpool's attack. Liverpool scoring goals, as you could see against Fulham, conceding goals as well, but scoring goals. 32 goals they've scored this season. Salah scored 10 of them. That's like 31% of their goals. 6 assists. Last 5 game weeks, he's had a 5-5, 16, 2, and an 8. So he's super consistent as well. 111 points this season. What more do I need to say? The fixture really wins it, hence why it's top of my captaincy list. I always give a top 3 every week. Second, yep, believe it or not, even against Villa, and I said it would be tricky, even no Rodri, no Grealish, this machine every week will always be on the list. That's it. Unless he's injured, and even then I'll have to consider putting him in. That's how dangerous he is. Manchester City, 36 goals. Haaland with 14 goals, that's 39%. He's pivotal to their attack. He's got 5 assists. Last 5 returns, he's had a 7, 7, 16, 1, 16. You can see why he's in the list. 110 points this season. Him and Salah, the 2 premiums, look, they're just, every week they're there. Next fixture is Aston Villa away. Much more trickier fixture than Mohamed Salah, but this is Manchester City we're talking about. They can make that fixture easy. If they turn up, that fixture's easy. That's how good they are. Last but not least is I was about to say Arsenal. He is Mr. Arsenal, is Saka. Now, 2 weeks ago I was talking about him not hauling, so it's difficult to captain him. But the reality is he's beaten both of these two the last 2 game weeks. He's had an 8 and an 8. So it's 16 points if you captained him, and them two have only had 14 points or 10 points. So he's beaten the so-called premium machines because he's super consistent and he gets them bonus points. So Saka, Arsenal with 29 goals. He's only got 5 goals, 17%, but then he's got 7 assists. It always impacts the game when he's playing. That's what I love about him. Last 5 returns, he's had an 8, 8, 5, 2, and a 6. 87 points this season. It's getting better. And next fixture is Luton away. So it's another plump fixture. You could go there. I mean, for me personally, I've always been scared to captain him, but I'm not quite sure why. When you look at his returns, you're going to get something. At worst case scenario, getting an assist. I think if I knew 100% he takes the penalties and not charitable, he's not doing the Robin Hood and giving it to someone else, then I think it makes it easier. But you're not sure Odegaard's back, he might give him a penalty or give someone else. But he's definitely an excellent choice. A bonus choice I'd possibly say could have been on the list is Son versus West Ham. I do fancy Spurs. Even with a depleted team, I do fancy Spurs to win that game. Watching them enough this season to note that they put it on the opponents and they do try to win the game as soon as the whistle blows. So I do see Son getting a return as well. I hope you found the video useful. I try to do this once a week to get you prepared for the next game week. I know a lot of managers are busy, sometimes don't get a chance to watch all the football, all the highlights and, you know, injuries and suspension. So I try to give it to you in one video, so at minimum you can watch this and make a decision for your FPL team, knowing that you're not doing it blind. So if you have liked it and enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really appreciate that. Makes a big difference when you're trying to grow the channel. And yeah, I wish you good luck and see you in the next game week, which isn't very long time. So quick turnaround now.